Hi, everyone. A very good afternoon to all of you. Thank you so much for joining us on time. We are going to give it a few more seconds, let's say 30 more seconds, or maybe a minute more to have others join in as well. And then we will get started with this session that you're here for. While we are waiting for some of the other folks to join, I would like to hear from you. How are you all doing today? And to answer my question, you can use the React icon. Give me a heart if you are feeling absolutely fantastic today. Give me a surprised face if maybe the day has not been that great and you are expecting it to get better from here. I do see a couple of you also laughing, which is amazing. Laughs are always good, right? Turn Laughs can turn any day positive. So that's amazing. Perfect. So we are 3 minutes into the session now, and I see we are almost 100. So I think we can get started. I would also like your confirmation on the screen share. I hope you are able to see the screen and the slide which says Rise and Rewire, the growth mindset journey. Give me a thumbs up if you're able to see it. Perfect. Thank you for confirming, Rama. And I do see a few thumbs also going up. That's amazing. Thank you so much. Perfect. So, yes, once again, welcome to this session on a growth mindset journey. And as the name suggests, rise and rewire, um, which is absolutely important when it comes to changing our mindset and cultivating the growth mindset from maybe a bit of fixed mindset that we might have, right? Because all of us grew up with with various upbringings, with a lot of different limiting beliefs, which is set into us because of environment, because of society, because of things that we have experienced, right? And that's why the title Rise and Rewire. Of course, we will talk more about things that I mentioned now while we explore this topic. But a quick introduction from my end. So, my name is Vivek Pal. I am a soft skills and leadership skills facilitator. I primarily in the field of right leadership skills. This has been my forte for most of my career, which is lasting 15 years. I've worked with multiple organizations, big ones, small ones, and currently I'm working with SkillUpRight as a soft skills learning consultant, right? So really happy to be here. Other than being a soft skills facilitator, a leadership skills facilitator, on my personal side, I also do quite a few things. So I have a hydroponics farm. I'm based out of Bangalore, so that's where my farm is. So I'm also a farmer. I also do voiceovers. I'm a survival skills trainer along with this because I love outdoors, and I'm also a certified scuba diver, right? So if all of this connects with some of you, I think though you cannot respond to me directly, but this does help us connect, right? So with that, let's go ahead. Really happy to have all of you here, and I hope all of you are looking forward to what we have in store for you. And this is what I have in store for you, right? These are the objectives. What we're going to do in today's session is number one, understand the core concept of what growth mindset means. And from there, we will try to understand how it is different from something called a fixed mindset, right? You might have definitely heard of growth mindset, maybe not so much of a fixed mindset. So we're going to explore that. Um, we are going to then identify something called limiting beliefs and some of the common limiting beliefs, and we will see how these limiting beliefs set in the first place and how they impact our learning performance and resilience overall, right? From there, we will then transition towards learning some practical strategies to begin cultivating growth mindset in everyday work or life situations, right? Now, growth mindset is something which can be cultivated. You can definitely work upon it. And that is what we're going to explore in the practical strategies that we are going to cover. Yeah. Give me quick hearts and thumbs up if you're all excited for this. Thank you, Francisco. A farmer to a farmer. Great, that's amazing. Perfect. So let's take a. Yes, I do have a comment here that you're not able to unmute your mic. Yes, you would not be able to. It's a webinar, and since a lot of folks join, we have disabled your mic and your camera, right? So a few rules of engagement, which will make sure that you take the most out of this session. So, number one, to engage, because you cannot unmute yourself, you cannot come on camera. To engage, these are the things that you need to use. Use React emoticons to engage with me. Give me your reactions when I ask you questions or otherwise, right? Use chat window to share any of your views, your answers, and your thoughts on what we're discussing. If you have any questions, you need to particularly use the Q&A tab that you will see right at the top of the window, along with all of those options. So if you have any questions, please put your question there and we will pick up the questions toward the end of the session. Yeah. Participate as much as you can. Of course, you cannot unmute yourself, but then using all these options, do participate, be engaged in what we are here to discuss, and that will definitely make sure that you take the most out of this session today. Okay, and of course, feel free to take any pictures that you want, snapshot of the slides that you like, that you want to take away with you, right? Perfect. So with those rules of engagement, let's go ahead and let's start with a first poll that I have for you. We're not really able to launch the poll on this, but I would like all of you to send your answers in the chat window. Think of any time where you had to face failure. How did you react in that time? Or how do you usually react when there is a failure that you face? You have 6 options on the screen. So send me A, B, C, D, or E in the chat window, or F. Okay, let's get quick with this. Send me all your responses quickly. Yes, you can select a couple of options as well. Great, I see A and C so far. Okay, I got 1 E. Come on, folks, we are almost 150 people on this call, so let's get as many responses as possible. I see a bit of D and B also coming into picture, but mostly a C and A, right? Sometimes A, and then you kind of move to C. All right, I do see a couple of Fs as well. Perfect. All right, let's talk about it. Now, first of all, failures, they do occur, right? It's not like you can go about your life without facing any failure, correct? And when that happens, it can get frustrating. It can get demotivating, right? And these are some of the usual feelings, usual emotions that we feel when we face failure. So out of the options that we're looking at, I feel frustrated and tend to overthink what went wrong. That is something that we commonly do, and a lot of you have selected that option. B, a couple of you selected that. I get demotivated and avoid trying similar things again for a while. Now let's take a look at C, which talks about reflecting on what I can learn from it and plan my next steps, right? Now, C is definitely different from A and B in terms of what this leads to. D talks about blaming external factors, so circumstances beyond my control. And when we do that, we are actually not trying to improve anything on our part. E says feel indifferent, tell myself it doesn't matter, and move on quickly, right? So this again will not help you improve anything within you. And then F talks about I feel a surge of motivation to improve and prove myself. Now, this is the ideal situation that you feel surge of motivation to improve and prove myself. Of course, it's not easy to feel this way, right? Because naturally we tend to feel frustrated and demotivated, right? So if you look at it, C and F, these couple of options are the ones which will help you learn from what went wrong and work on what you can improve upon to become a better version of yourself as compared to A, B, D, and E. Because when we do this, we either withdraw, we're not going to try to do this thing again anymore. We're going to tell ourselves, no, this is not for me, right? Or you're just not going to care and you will just move on without really improving that aspect in you, right? So I started with this question because this is what mindset translates to, right? Growth mindset versus fixed mindset. And that's what we're going to cover now. The two mindsets that we're talking about here, fixed mindset and growth mindset, of course, you would be able to guess what it means by the word that we have used for the mindsets, fixed and growth, and also the options that we saw on the previous slide. But I have a quick assessment for you for us to quickly check where we stand, right? We did answer that first question, but this is a bit more detailed assessment, still brief, but helps us figure out where we stand, right? Now, what I want you to do is you're looking at 10 statements over here, and you have 4 ratings that you can give against each statement. So without thinking too much, whatever comes first to your mind, maybe quickly draw this on a piece of paper, right? I want you to maybe quickly make 4 columns: strongly agree, agree, disagree, strongly disagree. And against the 10 statements, just mark under one of the columns that you feel your answer belongs to, right? This will help us do the addition and mathematics a little later. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to give you 2 to 3 minutes, or let's say 3 to 4 minutes, to quickly go through these statements, give out your answers, mark your answers, and then we will try to calculate where we stand. Give me a yes in the chat window once you're done. Yep. One more time, make sure that you're marking under the specific rating, because that's how we need to calculate it later. Thank you, Pankaj. That was quick. I think you're the first one to finish it. Well done. Wait, I'll give you 1 more minute for the rest of you to finish it. Anjali, you just need to, against each statement, maybe on a piece of paper, write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 vertically. And against it, just draw 4 columns from strongly agree to strongly disagree. And wherever you feel your answer is, just mark it, just tick it under that column. All right, let's take 30 more seconds. I do see a few thumbs coming up as well. Thank you so much for the confirmation. And while we're doing this, it has started to pour in Bangalore. If some of you are based out of Bangalore, I'm sure you're enjoying the weather. So Vijay, you need to do it on a piece of paper. The slide is not interactive, and we are not sharing any poll or Menti with you, right? So you need to do it on a piece of paper or maybe an Excel file. All right, looks like most of you have completed it. So keeping the time in mind, let's go ahead and let's take a look at the answers, right? Now, I want you to, against your marking, just write the number where you marked, right? So for example, for the first statement, your intelligence is something very basic. If you marked disagree, then mention 2. If you marked strongly disagree, write 3 over there, right? And then we will total these numbers. The harder you work at something, if you marked 3, if you marked strongly agree, write 3. If you marked strongly disagree, write 0. Okay, so let's quickly do this. Let's take 30 seconds to just map your answers to these numbers. That's great, Sanskriti. So there's no right or wrong. Now we're going to add them up and then we will see where we are. Yeah. Give me a confirmation once you're done mapping the numbers, the scores. Okay, I believe most of us would have done the mapping. Give me a thumbs up if we have. Thank you so much for sharing that, Nalini. But I would request you to write the number there. So for the first statement, strongly disagree is a 3, right? So write 3 over there because we need to calculate these numbers, add these numbers. Okay, Radhi says 1 more minute. So Sagar says 1 more minute. Let's take 1 more minute then, but not more than that, please. Wherever you have marked against the statement, write that number down because we need to add up the numbers. Thank you, Anissa. We are going to take a look at what that translates to. Great, great. Perfect. I do see that you are sending out your scores. Let me also do this while we move ahead. I'm going to share this as a screenshot in the chat window. So for those who are still doing it, can continue to take a look at this. You can refer to the screenshot that's coming through in the chat window. All right, with that, let's go ahead and let's calculate the scores. All you need to do is total, add the numbers that you got, and the sum total is what we need to look at, right? So once you have added them up, if your score is between 22 to 30, you come with a strong growth mindset. If your score is between 17 to 21, you have growth mindset primarily, but with some fixed mindset. 11 to 16, more fixed mindset with some growth mindset. 0 to 10, strong fixed mindset. And that means there is a lot that you need to work on in terms of cultivating growth mindset. Yep. I do see a lot of good scores above 22, and that's amazing. That's brilliant. So I'm sure you would be able to relate to a lot of things that we're talking about as to how you transformed and you are where you are. And the folks who are below 22, nothing to really worry about. It is an opportunity for us to learn from here. And you know, the point that you're here itself proves that you're here to make some changes, right? So that's a good start to demonstrating growth mindset. Absolutely. The screenshot of the questions is already in the chat window, and I'm going to share the scores as well in the chat window. Great. Now, the question that comes, how do you explain growth mindset and fixed mindset? Let's move to that. Let's understand what these two mindsets are all about. And for this, we're going to use Carol Dweck's theory. Now, Carol Dweck has done a lot of work on this area of mindsets, and she's written a couple of books as well, right? So as per her theory of fixed and growth mindset, we're going to define both of these. Now, fixed mindset is where we believe that intelligence is static, right? So the first statement that you looked at in the assessment said, if you have an intelligence, that's what you have. You cannot fix it. That's how it is since childhood. You cannot improve it, right? So that is fixed mindset. And growth mindset believes that intelligence can be developed. There are ways to work on it, and there are ways to develop intelligence. Now, again, when you further break it down, because of this particular key fact or key belief, a fixed mindset leads to a desire to look smart and therefore a tendency to, and that's what we're going to look at now, right? So, because there is a belief that intelligence is static, there is more focus on desire to looking smart, right? And lesser to actually building it. And growth mindset is where there is a desire to learn because that's how you develop intelligence, that's how you improve on intelligence, and therefore there is a tendency to pick up on some of these aspects, right? So number one that we are discussing is challenges. Now when we talk about fixed mindset, um, you avoid challenges, right? Because you feel you're going to fail in these challenges when it comes to performing under pressure. However, with growth mindset, you embrace challenges. You say, hey, I'm going to give it a shot and I'm definitely going to end up learning something new. I'm not afraid of failure. I'm going to definitely learn out of this. And if I succeed, nothing like that, right? So that is what fixed mindset leads to, avoiding challenges, and growth mindset leads to embracing challenges. Now, the next one is when you come across any obstacle in personal life, work life, you give up easily if you have fixed mindset. With growth mindset, you persist, you show your resilience in the face of setbacks, and you may or may not get over the obstacle, but you don't give up, you continue on, right? So that's the difference between these two. Number three parameter that we look at is effort. With fixed mindset, uh, you look at putting effort into anything as fruitless or not worth it. You feel because maybe you're not smart enough, putting in efforts is not really going to help anyone. Growth mindset, on the other hand, considers effort as path to mastery. The more you work towards it, the more you do it, the better you're going to get at it, right? Let's go ahead. Criticism is the fourth parameter that we talk about here. Criticism, feedback. Now, as fixed mindset, you look at criticism as something negative that someone is telling you, and you ignore it, right? You ignore whatever negative someone might be telling you. However, under growth mindset, you focus on learning from the negative feedback. You look at it as a constructive feedback instead of criticism, right? That's another difference. And the last one is success of others. Under fixed mindset, you feel threatened when others around you are gaining success. Let's say you are working with a colleague and that colleague gets promoted. You feel threatened. You feel insecure. On the other hand, with growth mindset, you look at these successes of people around you as inspiration and you draw lessons, you learn lessons from it, right? You don't feel envious, you feel inspired. You try to talk to them and understand how did they do it, so you can also learn a thing or two from there and improve yourself, right? So if you have to break it down as a result of fixed mindset, there is a plateau that this person reaches. By plateau, we mean a stable state, right? And no more improvement from there. And there is very less that they achieve from what their actual potential was. And this confirms that there is a very predefined worldview in mind of this person. On the other hand, with growth mindset, the result is that you reach higher and higher in your achievement, one success after the other, because you are persistent, you are resilient, right? And you continue to work towards it. And this gives you a greater sense of free will. Okay. Now, with the definition in mind, I would like to share a few examples from personal as well as professional life for you to understand this a little bit more better, right? Now, let's say you are trying to learn a new skill. It could be maybe playing guitar, it could be public speaking, it could be presenting in front of people, it could be just cooking or scuba diving, right? Now, if you have fixed mindset, you mostly would end up telling yourself that I'm not naturally good at this and I will probably mess it up again. So, what's the point of even trying, right? And you will not try to learn something new. But if you have growth mindset, you would end up saying, I'm not good at it yet, but with practice, with slowly learning, I will improve and I'll get better because everyone starts from somewhere. Not people are not born with it, right? So that's how you look at the situation with growth mindset. And when you do this, of course, you move ahead with it. You take chances, right? You learn that new thing and you actually might succeed and do really, really well in it, right? Because with fixed mindset, you're not even taking a chance. That means it's a lost opportunity. Okay. Another example of this could be, let's say you have fitness goals, right? And for that, maybe you wanna, uh, lose weight, or maybe you want to prepare to run in a marathon, 10K marathon. With fixed mindset, you might end up saying, I've tried this before and I've failed, and I'm not just built for it, right? And it's not really for me. So let me not even try this. But with growth mindset, you would end up saying, well, the last time it might not have worked, but with right planning, with better planning this time, I'm going to do much better. I'm going to change my approach. I'm going to try something new and I'll make it work, right? So that's an example of growth mindset. Now, talking about professional examples, right? Let's say at office, you were overlooked for a promotion. You did not get the promotion that you wanted. Now, with fixed mindset, you might say, hey, it's pointless to try harder. They will never pick me. It doesn't matter what I do because they have their own favorites. And I think, I should just continue to do my work or start to look out, right? With growth mindset, you're going to tell yourself, maybe there is something I missed this time. Maybe the other person came with something more that I did not demonstrate, right? And you would try to figure out what it is. You will try to develop that and you will prepare yourself for the next time to grab that opportunity. Yeah. I'll pause here for a second. Give me some thumbs up. Let me know if it's making sense. Yeah. Now, I would also like to share a personal example, and this is from my first organization when I started working. And there was a time when I was due for promotion, but lately my performance was not really good, right? I was not getting good satisfaction scores, and there were some escalations against me, right? So I was not really given that promotion, and I felt really, really bad. I was definitely disappointed. I was definitely, um, uh, you know, disheartened, and I almost gave up that I should not even try for this, right? I'm not going to get it. I'm not good enough. Those were the thoughts and the stories that I was telling myself. But after a point, and of course it took some time to get over that, I decided that I should just focus on enjoying my work. So this was a BPO setup, and I used to support American customers, right? So I focused on enjoying my conversations with them and just enjoy my work, right? And I saw that automatically my score got better, and I started to get recognition again. And in the next cycle, I was given promotion, right? So that's how growth mindset can really change the narrative for you as to how the world looks at you, right? And I'm sure a lot of you would also be able to relate to this example that I just shared. Yeah. Perfect. Let's talk about one more example. Let's say, let's talk about AI, right? Everyone is talking about AI nowadays. So it's a new thing that all of us need to adapt to. All of us, if we want to, it's a change for us, right? So with fixed mindset, you might end up saying, hey, this is very new. I'm not, first of all, I'm not tech savvy, and I'm definitely not going to be able to pick this up, right? I should not even try. AI is just a hype, not going to work, right? With growth mindset, you're going to tell yourself, hey, it is new, it is challenging, but I should try this, right? It might help me do my work better. It might actually improve how I function or how I achieve things. It might help me with my productivity. And that's when you will try to try your hands on AI and at least, start somewhere from learning. Correct? So those are some of the examples. I'll pause here again. Let me know if there are any questions. Let me check if there is something that's come in the Q&A section here. But are you with me so far? Give me a thumbs up if you are. Great, perfect. So now I have a quick activity for you to check if we understood what growth mindset means and what fixed mindset means. So what I'm going to do is I will show a scenario on the screen. We have three scenarios, and I want you to send your responses in the chat window. Send F for fixed mindset, G for growth mindset, right? According to the response that you see on the screen. All right, so here is the first scenario. Mira's company announced a sudden shift to a new project management tool. While many of her teammates are excited, Mira thinks, I have worked perfectly fine with the old system for years. I'll never get the hang of this new tool and it will just slow me down. What kind of mindset do you think this is? Growth or fixed? Yeah. Unanimous answer, fixed mindset. Yes, absolutely. If Mira does not give it a shot, if she does not even try the software, how would she know that it is slowing her down? Maybe it will actually make her the most productive person in the team, right? Let's take a look at scenario two. So Kunal notices his colleague getting praised for an innovative idea during a team meeting. He thinks any of my ideas are never appreciated. I don't know why he's everyone's favorite, that his simple idea is being praised. What kind of mindset is this? Yeah, fixed mindset, absolutely. Because the focus is on picking up the negatives. And these negatives, they actually enter your subconscious, which we're going to cover later, and they don't allow you to flourish, right? They don't allow you to improve. Let's take a look at scenario three. During a fitness challenge at work, Raj failed to meet his weekly target. He thinks it didn't work out this time. I'll figure out what went wrong and adjust my plan for next week. Growth mindset, absolutely perfect. So, well, the whole group has understood what it means. Now, there is just another myth, or rather, thought that I would like to bring to the table and discuss it, specifically to do with, let's say, second scenario, right? A lot of times there is office politics that we deal with. There is actual favoritism that happens out there, right? But when it comes to you looking at a situation, right? Though there is that favoritism going on, maybe there is that office politics going on, but if you tell yourself this becomes a limiting belief in your mind, right? It's not going to anyone else. It's just going to stop you from succeeding. So maybe, of course, you don't have to absolutely accept the politics that's going on. You don't have to absolutely accept the way the environment is, because maybe there is bias in it. But for you to succeed, for you to continue to improve, and not only in that environment, in your long life, right, as a person, that is where we need to develop the growth mindset. Yeah. Okay, perfect. So let's go ahead and let's understand what creates a fixed mindset, because what we are talking about is how do you move from fixed mindset to growth mindset, right? And when it comes to fixed mindset, uh, it's not something that you know happened overnight. It's not something that uh, you were born with. It is something which is kind of um, set into us while we are growing up, right? And there could be multiple reasons which we're going to take a look at in a few categories on the next screen, right? But what happens is fixed mindset is something that has been created over a period of time, and a lot of it goes down and settles inside us in form of subconscious limiting beliefs, right? And these limiting beliefs tell you that no, you cannot do this, you're not good at this. And on the next slide, you'll be able to relate to a lot of these examples, right? Okay, perfect. You're not doing this consciously, you're not stopping your mind consciously, right? Because of these subconscious messages that your entire life has sent to your mind, that's why the fixed mindset gets developed over a period of time. But we can change that, we can fix it, we can move towards growth mindset from here, right? So let's take a look at some of the limiting beliefs which form, the fixed mindset. Childhood experiences, and a lot of you would be able to relate to this. Labels given to us by parents, teachers, or relatives. When teachers said, "No, you're not good at mathematics," right? When parents said, "No, you're not good at dancing," right? Or "You're not good at arts." Or your friends said that just in a manner of a joke, correct? So all of that, because there are a lot of feelings that we suppress, there are a lot of feelings that we do not discuss with others, we do not explore, we suppress them, and they become these stories and messages, right? You're shy, you're terrible, I'm not good at sports, I'm not good at this, I'm not good at that, right? All of these messages, they settle down in your subconscious mind, right? And that's what becomes limiting beliefs. Okay. Next one, societal and cultural conditioning. Again, the society, the community that we have been a part of, the culture that we are raised in, right? So, a lot of times, culture sets these expectations in you based on gender, based on age, based on social background. Examples of these are boys don't cry. People your age shouldn't take career risks, and that's why people maybe after a certain age are not okay taking that risk. Another example of this could be, uh, you know, there is a certain age for marriage, right? And once you've crossed it, now you cannot, correct? So all these societal and cultural conditioning, these again, create these limiting beliefs in our mind. Yeah. Another category is the past failures and experiences that we've gone through, which has created the fear of judgment. Yeah. And I'm sure all of you would agree with this, specifically when it comes to maybe standing in front of a crowd and presenting on a topic, right? Stage fright is number one fear out there in the world. And there is a reason for that because of all the experiences that we have had in the past, the failures that we have gone through, and the fear of judgment that these failures have created, right? So it's more like once you tried to present and everybody laughed at you, and that sent a message to your mind that, hey, I failed at it, I suck at it, I'm the worst, I should never try this again, right? And then you hold back. But those times were different. I know some of these norms and beliefs still are created by the society, but there's a lot of control that we have now in this age, and we can definitely change things. Yeah. Also, as I said, these beliefs, they settle into your subconscious mind and they start dictating your behavior, how you look at anything, your perspective towards life, right? And you don't even realize a lot of this a lot of times. I'll share a few other examples with you. Uh, let's say I'm bad at numbers, so I cannot handle financial reports, right? Again, because somebody told you suck at mathematics, right? Somebody told you that you're not a people's person, so you say that I'm not a people's person, so leadership role is not for me, and that's stopping you from actually trying to succeed and trying to aim for that role, right? Uh, a lot of times people, and I've heard this from my friends, I'm too old to learn new technology. No, you're not, right? There's no age to learn technology. If you really want to, you can. And A lot of times when you say I always give up halfway, so what's the point in even trying? What's the point in starting? And this is something which I will confess here is something that I definitely face in my life. I've tried to be a YouTuber as well, right? I love traveling, so I've tried to create these videos and try to really create that consistent content out there. But I suffer with consistency, and when that happens, when the flow breaks, I tell myself, hey, I stop midway. right? I'm not consistent. So why should I even try? And that's the reason for quite some time now, I've not even gone back to it. Of course, I'm busy. That's another thing. But then this is one of the reasons why I'm not picking it up again, right? Because it's stopping me. And I need to work towards it and I need to change that mindset. Yeah. Perfect. So I hope all of this makes sense as to how limiting beliefs form because of everything that we have experienced in life, everything that we have gone through, and how all these emotions that we suppress turn into subconscious limiting beliefs and stop us from uh, gaining, success in life, right? So when you have the fixed mindset set in, basically you're avoiding challenges, you're not picking up new opportunities, you're not taking risks, you are reacting defensively to feedback, and that's what's stopping you from learning new things, right? There is lower resilience, there is lower persistence, and there is definitely that stagnation in career and personal growth that you will see, right? And also, to sum this up, every time you say I can't, you close the door on a possibility. But the good news is, of course, that you can choose to replace these old stories and change them. Before we talk about the techniques and methods, I have a question for you, and I want you to respond to this question in the chat window. So be honest and tell me one belief that you have carried about yourself that may have held you back for a very long time. And realization is where it all starts from, right? When you are self-aware, that means you want to work towards it. So let's hear from some of you. Fear of appearing in any exam. Maybe that's why you don't take up certifications, right? I can't handle too much pressure. Yep. So maybe presenting is definitely something that gives you butterflies, right? Fear of height. Yep, that's actually a real fear, but then I think it can also be, improved upon. I always consider worst and proceed. That's a very good way. So there is this concept of stoicism, right? And which says that you consider the worst, but you don't overthink about it. You don't get stuck with that thing, and you focus to continue to work towards the best, right? Cannot involve in politics. Yes, Vijaya, absolutely. That also could be a personal choice as long as not this is not stopping you from doing things. I think it's okay. It's a personal choice, right? Fear a job is too big and so delay starting it. Yes, this is classic case of procrastination, right? And this could also be a limiting belief. Fear of future, cannot sell products. Okay. Yeah, fear of maybe not really being able to sell things because of some experience in the past. Feeling like imposter. Now we're getting into the realm of psychology, really, but absolutely, this is something which also is common. Sometimes, because of how you need to keep up with society, might make you feel like an imposter, where you feel you are losing touch from your real self. I can't fit in leadership role and manage people. Okay, amazing responses. So I'm sure you now understand how these limiting beliefs have really set in and how they stop you from taking that step, taking that risk, grasping that opportunity to really move ahead, right? So let's now talk about, thank you so much for sharing those. It's not easy to be vulnerable in a large group of people like in this webinar. So really appreciate you sharing all of that. Let's now take a look at how can we fix these limiting beliefs, because that is what it takes to really cultivate and develop growth mindset, right? So there are 6 techniques, 6 practical strategies that I'm going to share with you. We're going to talk about what it is, why it helps, and how to really start with it. Number one, I'm sure you might have heard of a gratitude journaling as a practice. So gratitude journal is a very powerful way of working directly on your subconscious mind, right? Because it has taken so many years for these limiting beliefs to set in. Gratitude journaling is a very solid way to directly work on the subconscious mind and change some of those. Yeah. And what it means is that on a daily basis, maybe in the morning, maybe in the evening, you write down three things that you're grateful for. It could be anything from work, it could be, from personal life, it could be about you just being able to breathe the whole day, your organs working all fine, right? So it could be all of that. But you need to write down three things every day, three new things every day, and that's what changes your perspective at a subconscious level, right? It changes those I can't stories which are settled in, and changes those two no, things are good, I can pick it up, right? Okay. Now, how it works, why it works is because it's regular journaling, and it enhances your emotional resilience. It changes your perspective at a subconscious level. It reinforces positive beliefs and counters the limiting beliefs which are stopping you from taking challenges and opportunities, right? So that's number one. Again, to talk about, maybe the last point, reflect on positive experiences, personal strengths, or supportive relationships. So you can cover all of these when you are practicing this. There are apps that you can download, or you can just maintain a diary which you can write in every day. Number two, reframe from negative self talk, right? What does it mean? Whenever you find yourself giving yourself negative feedback, being overly critical, you need to change that perspective, right? You need to change that, and you need to talk about self compassion and resilience. You need to talk about no, you are empowered, you have the strength that it needs. You need to really get going with this, right? And what this does is, how you need to work on is, whenever you feel I can't do this is something that's coming to your mind, you need to change that to I can't do this yet, right? um, I have not tried this before, let me try it now. I'm capable of learning and growing instead of I can't, right? So that's number two. And do feel free to take pictures or screenshots of these slides from here on. I'll also share these as screenshots in the chat window later. Number three, embrace failures as feedback. When we say failures is something which we are afraid of, we are actually afraid of people judging us, right? So we need to change that narrative, and we need to think about, how does it even bother others when I fail, right? The failure is mine, and mine alone to learn from the mistakes, to encourage uh, trying something new the next time, experimentation, correct? And this is what will lead to personal and professional development. So, how to start? Ask yourself, what can I learn from this experience every time you fail? First of all, tell yourself, okay, I failed. That's absolutely okay. It happens all the time. And then talk about, what can I learn from this? Why did I fail? What can I improve upon? What will I do differently the next time? And all these insights will help you change your perspective about the failure, right? And you would want to actually try the same thing the next time and see if the new approach works. Yeah. Fourth method is to use not yet about everything that you feel you cannot do, right? Just change the terminology, and that itself helps you reaffirm yourself that things are possible. How would you do it? Replace I can't do this statement with I can't do this yet, right? I need to work on this, and then I will be able to do this. I need to learn this, and then I will be able to do this, right? Also, encourage others to adopt this language to promote a culture of continuous learning. I know this is not very easy, because people around you don't really change and don't really get very supportive that way, but that's where point number five comes into picture. Surround yourself with growth minded people, and you will find these people around you, right? Especially at work, there's a lot of time that you spend with people at work. So you might have your favorites, but if those favorites are actually pulling you down and are developing those limiting beliefs, maybe you want to spend some good time with people who believe in growth mindset as well, right? So engage with the individuals who encourage learning, who provide feedback, who believe in open talking and celebrating progress together, right? And especially at work, because this is where you still continue to develop a lot of limiting beliefs. Okay. Now, how to start with this? Join groups or forums where like-minded people maybe come together and work on developing something. It could be a hobby, it could be a passion that the people are into, right? Or maybe just people you've get positive vibes from, and you get along with them and try to interact more with them. Seek mentors. This is something which I absolutely highlight in any of my sessions. If you can seek mentorship from people you look up to, nothing like it, because you will have someone who will be able to talk positively with you, who will be able to share guidance with you. And if I have to maybe relate this to uh, the start of my career, I think if I had some mentors, I would have chosen a different path. Of course, I enjoy what I do right now, but then maybe I would be doing it at a different level altogether. Just because I did not have a mentor, I just went with the flow, and that's what a lot of us do. And then it becomes a pretty a simple journey where we are just settling in and not really trying something new. So seek mentorship. And last but not the least, meditation really helps. Again, we are talking about subconscious. So, meditation helps you with self awareness, it helps you reduce stress, it helps you improve your emotional regulation, and all of this supports the development of growth mindset. You can start from something very simple, 5 to 10 minutes. There are, of course, a lot of apps now. You can have your favorite guru that you follow, right? Or maybe just go to gym where yoga happens. Yeah. So, use guided meditation. And this is another strategy that you can utilize to develop growth mindset. Remember, growth mindset is not something that you can get over a night or over 15 days. Consistency is what we need to focus on instead of perfection, and we just need to keep working on it, right? It's a long term process. It changes over a period of time, but when you start to see the positive influence, there's no stopping you. Yeah. I'll pause here. Let me know if give me a thumbs up if you're all with me. Francisco has shared a saying that you become the average of the 5 people you interact or socialize with. That's a very good saying, and exactly how it relates to the mindset that you develop, right? Again, I can share examples on this. Let's say when you are with a group of entrepreneurs, you would automatically start to think that way. You would start to look for opportunities in everything to maybe start a business, right? But if you're with a group of people who are just lazy and playing video game the whole day without really worrying about how they need to improve upon their financial life or personal life, then that's how you will also feel. Okay, perfect. So I would like to also suggest a further resource to you, and in fact this is very personal to me. This is an audiobook which is a unique blend of fiction, and this book talks about rewriting these subconscious codes that have uh, been developed or being developed throughout our life because of the limiting beliefs that set in, right? So this audiobook, through help of a story of a boy from a small town in India, his name is Sam, helps you understand how, though there are things which go wrong in life, with cultivating growth mindset, you can actually change your life around, right? And it covers the steps, the techniques, the practical strategies that we spoke of in detail, step by step manner, with more description. And in fact, the book is narrated by me. It's written by a dear friend called Abhinav Saran, and it is a brilliant book in terms of the concept that it brings together. So you can definitely take a look at this. You will find this on Audible, Google Books, Storytel, and something called a Rakuten Kobo. I will also love to share the link with you in the chat window if you want to take a look at this, right? uh, and develop your growth mindset further. So while I do that, while I share the links with you in the chat window, do let me know if you have any questions, because we have come to an end of the session, and we can definitely take a couple of questions that you might have. I hope you found the session valuable. Give me a hearts if you did, or give me some response in the chat window. How to deal with workload frustrations. Anjali, yes, something that all of us suffer from, right? Uh, but I would say, again, the feeling of frustration is something which comes through because of folks. I would want you to please put your questions in the Q&A tab. Otherwise, your questions will actually disappear over here, right? So make sure that you put them in the Q&A tab and not here. Okay. All right. Now, when it comes to workplace frustrations, of course, this is something which uh, is happening because of maybe workplace politics, the environment itself, right? And there's a lot of negativity that develops. So when you practice something like a meditation and the journaling that we spoke of, gratitude journaling, it will at least, first of all, help you balance your stress. And from there, with a bit of positive mindset developing, you might be able to find a way to change things around, maybe change to a better role, right? Or if you feel, yes, it's not really working out, at least with a positive outlook, you will be able to, uh, find a better opportunity out there. Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing key takeaways. Gratitude journaling. Perfect. Yes, these strategies are proven strategies. They do work. So do explore them. And yes, do take a look at the book if you're into audiobooks, particularly. Would love to hear from you. Yeah. Also checking if there are any more questions in the chat window in the Q&A tab. It's taking a bit of time to load. I'm sorry, folks. Wow, it's just not loading. Let me just go back to the chat and pick up questions from here if we have any. Madhukar, I do see you have. Can I get an answer on this again? Okay. Growth mindset. Okay, let me take a look at this. Madhukar, could you please put the question there once again? I'm not able to go back and find it. Okay, what if someone has a growth mindset but not able to act on it? That's an interesting question. What if someone has growth mindset but not able to act on it? That means there is definitely something which is still stopping you from acting on it, right? Or maybe the recognition of you having the growth mindset itself could be a bit incorrect, right? So there is more work that needs to be done in terms of recognizing and understanding what mindset it is. Do take a look at a more detailed assessment that you will find on internet. Try to take that, see if that helps you get more insights. But otherwise, reflecting definitely helps. In each situation where you face a setback, think about how you reacted or how you responded. And that itself will give you an answer whether it was the growth mindset that you demonstrated. Because if you do, it should not really become a hindrance, right? So explore this with reflection, with assessment, and bit more consideration. That will help. Okay, everyone, we are on top of time. So thank you so much once again. I hope you found it valuable and hope to see you in one of the other sessions again. Um, Happy growth mindset journey, and hope you will be able to implement some of the techniques that we spoke of and develop the growth mindset that we all deserve, right? Thank you so much and have a great, wonderful rest of the day and rest of the week. Bye, everyone.